One of the most interesting pieces we found there is this big stone block. We call it the world stone map. Why? Because on this map you can see here the Mediterranean with Italy, Greek, and you see here an inlay of an eye. This white quartz line is natural. The other lines are engravings. So that means you have here a world map which shows you all the most known countries, like here India, but India on this map is bigger than on our world map now. And you know, after the last tsunami, the big tsunami, 2004, they found some building structures in the sea. So the quartz line passes the Mediterranean, passes here the Atlantic Ocean, and here you have a continent which does not exist in our days. That could be the famous not existing or not existed continent Atlantis. Then the quartz line passes Venezuela and makes here the turn in the Bay of Guayaquil in Ecuador. Then you have a small inlay going to the north, and there's another inlay, and this is exactly the place where they found these over 300 artifacts. On the other side, it continues, passes the Pacific Ocean, and here on this side, here you see better, here where there is Japan and Taiwan, from the northeast Japanese island until far after Taiwan, there is one long continent encarved. And Professor Masaaki Kimura, he came 2001 when I organized the exhibition Unsolved Mysteries in Vienna. He gave us a model of Yonaguni, the big stone structure, and he told me that his research shows him that there must have been a continent like this. So that means this stone map must be definitely older than approximately 10-12,000 years, and I heard a lot of really good explanations from Paul this afternoon. I have to talk to him later on. It shows that somebody was able to make already a precise world stone map approximately 10 to 12,000 years ago. This is a close-up. You see, here in the Middle East is an eye inlay, and then it follows to the other side of the world. This is a close-up of the eye, and then on this close-up you see here the Bay of Guayaquil and the little inlay north, and this is exactly where these artifacts were found. One of the most interesting artifacts I ever saw until now is this 27 centimeters high pyramid with an inlay of an eye. The inlay is gray-white, the color of the eye inlay. You have 13 steps, and it looks exactly like the $1 US note pyramid. And when I presented this in conferences and it was shown on internet, I got a lot of reports saying, be careful, this guy is an Illuminati, because he always shows the pyramid with the eye. I only can tell you that for me this pyramid is so old, older than any organization like Illuminatis or Freemasons or anything else. If you put this and other artifacts found there in under ultraviolet light or black light, the inlays are shining very strong, especially the eye is shining very strange and very strong. On the bottom here is a daylight photo, and this is under black light, but it's very difficult to get a good picture. On the bottom of this small pyramid, you have an inlay in small full plates of the Orion star constellation and unknown writings. This unknown writing, some of these symbols I found the day before yesterday when I visited Timothy in his laboratory, and he showed me some of the artifacts with his unknown writings. Some of the symbols are confirmed with this writing. And there was only one man who could translate this writing. He was the president of the German Linguistic Society, Professor Kurt Schildmann, and he said he could decipher this writing. He did not say he could translate it. He said he could decipher it, and he said this meaning is the Son of the Creator comes. And we found the same unknown writing on stones in Ecuador, in Colombia, in Illinois, in Lausanne in France, in Calabria, in Malta, in Turkmenistan, and in Australia. So that means there must have existed a global civilization, and if this writing goes confirmed with the writing which we have found here in the Radne tunnel, then you know about what age we are talking. This is a stone which shows how you should hold the pyramid. Here you have the eyes. The pyramid stays on your right hand and you put your left hand on top. And this stone shows you the action of the pyramid. You see here a man sitting and holding the pyramid. From his eyes are going rays out to these two bold people. On his head he has a flat helmet and a kind of an antenna going up to this symbol. This is the helmet which was found there too, but you can see that something is missing here. Another very interesting artifact is this big jade cup with 12 small cups. A very symbolic number, 12 plus 1. On the big cup, you have a precise star constellation inlay work, and on the small cups, you have numbers which are looking like the Maya numbers, but they are a little bit different. And the big cup is inside completely magnetical, outside not, only in the center of these three big stars. And maybe Paul can tell me later on what star constellation is here on this cup. Every geologist will tell you that it's impossible if the jade cup would have some iron material inside the material. It must be magnetical from both sides. This here not. We did tests and it's confirmed. Here you see a close-up of the big cup, and what I got information is that you can see here on the cup the Orion belt and swirl, Pleiades, Sirius, Aldebaran, Betelgeuse, Procton, and Canis Major. And also this cup, the inlays, if you put black light or ultraviolet on, the inlays are shining really very strong. Here you see a close-up of the small cups. And each one has a different size, but we fill them completely plain with water, and we put them carefully in the big cup, and the big cup also was completely plain, filled with water. So even the work of these small cups was very, very, very well done. Here on this picture you see also a jade plate with the same star constellation like on the big cup, and two people looking with their eyes up to the sky. Also, the inlays are very special under black light. This is a very interesting hard-formed stone, but here it's broken, and also the stone changes the color from light brown to black, which is also not normal in the nature. And you can see here a face. You have here the two eyes, you have the nose, the mouth, long hair, and a barb. So many of my friends, when they saw this picture, they said it looks exactly like the Shroud of Turin. But now if I would be a populist and I would like to make a big story, I would say we found the Holy Grail because a big cup and 12 little cups, and then we have a hard-formed stone with a face which looks like the Shroud of Turin. But for me personally, all these artifacts are much older than 2,000 years. On the reverse side of this stone you have a spiral and a triangle or a pyramid, and also here the center of this is very strong magnetical. And also the mouth of the face, we tested with a small magnet, and when we put the small magnet in front of the mouth of the face on the other side, it was always going like it was talking, like it looked like somebody is talking to us. Very strange magnetical effect. Then one piece, the head of a cobra, and we know that the cobra didn't exist in South America and all the other artifacts, so this collection is not accepted by the official archaeology. The cobra has 33 lines, 32 plus 1 dot, 33, and left side, right side, 7 dots. So 7 and 33, very interesting numbers. I got information from an Indian professor. The cobra has 33 lines, and in the Hindu mythology, there are 33 god and goddesses. The 7 circles represent sub-chakras in yoga. Oops. Here you can see how the inlays are shining under black light or ultraviolet light. Then this snake with inlays, points, first of all it is a masterwork made out of jade, very big, and all the inlay points are also illuminating under black light. Then this is the Kundalini, and of course Kundalini is not connected to any South American culture. You see the sexual energy goes up on the reverse side and is ending up on the third eye here. Then this stone helmet, you can put it on your shoulders or you can lay down and put your head inside. It's made out of granite and it has inlay points, and some acupuncture experts told me that these are exactly the acupuncture points. So again, we have here an artifact which has nothing to do with any known pre-Columbian culture. Also the points are illuminating under black light. And here you see the owner of this collection now, Herman Diamar, how you can use this stone helmet. Then this spiral form in a plate made us able to land 40 pieces for the exhibition, because when we were there 2000 and I saw first time all these artifacts, you can imagine that I was excited, and I asked the owner, can I lend 30-40 pieces for my exhibition next year? And he said yes, but I have to ask Luis Viracocha, the highest of the Ecuadorian indigenous people. And next evening we had again a meeting, and Luis Viracocha came, and first of all when he asked if he, when Herman asked if he can lend us some pieces, he said, no way, these are for us very spiritual artifacts, and we will not allow that you bring these artifacts to other countries. So again, you can imagine how I was feeling then, and I started talking with Luis Viracocha, and we talked about many things about an hour, and after 1 hour he brought a little magnet on a string, and he asked my 4 friends, I was with 4 friends there, he asked the first of them to hold this magnet in the center of this spiral. And when he was holding it in the center, suddenly the magnet started round turns, big and bigger, until outside the plate, and then it was turning like a perpetuum mobile. So he asked the second, the third friend, and then he asked me to hold it over. And you see here a photo. I was holding it over the center of the spiral, and it didn't move. And I was pushing it, and it didn't move. And I pushed it again, and then I was laughing, and I said, Luis, it doesn't work with me. And he looked at me, and he said, they should try again. So I asked him, can you try again? Well, the first friend, it moved, the second, the third, and then again me. So I was holding it. This was the second time, because it took so long time. I was holding it, pushing it, holding it, it didn't move. And then finally I gave up and said, can you tell me why it doesn't move? And he just looked, and he turned around to Herman and he said, Herman, you can give him the pieces for the exhibition. Don't ask me why. But the strange thing is, and this was the time I did the exhibition, because I was skeptic against all these things. And at this time, 2000, when we went there, if you would have talked with me about esoteric and some very strange things, I would have told you, please leave me alone. But I had so many experiences, but still I say there are things which I cannot explain, I just accept it. So this was the success that I could get the pieces for my exhibition. Oh. And you know what? Out of about 50, it brought me luck. So this one is also a small jade plate and has 7 different colored circles. And a few months ago, I got a telephone call from a Russian physicist, numerologist, and mathematician, a lady, Mrs. Svetlana, and she told me, I saw a presentation on YouTube, and I saw this Ecuadorian plate, and it fits exactly my research of doing a matrix for persons. A personal matrix for persons, and she asked me if I can send a high-resolution picture of this plate, which I did, and she asked me, can I make you your matrix? And I said, yes. What do you need? My name and my birthday. And later she sent me my matrix, and she was very, very surprised, because she said, it's incredible, but you are the first one with exactly the same colors in your matrix and exactly with the same thickness of each circle. So I asked her, what does that mean? She said, I cannot give you any answer. So this is a pyramid made out of stone, also found there. You have here again the pyramid with the eye. You have here spirals, and you have here unknown symbols. Here another stone from the same collection, again with the pyramid with the eye, and here the 3 stars which are exactly located like the 3 pyramids in Egypt. And then they found many of ceramics which also do not really connect any pre-Columbian culture, because here this looks like Asian style, also the snake around the mouth, the eye forms are also not really North American indigenous. And I got also the information that this position is called as Padma Asana in yoga in India. The Lord Shiva is a Hindu god, and he has a snake around his neck. So the question is, how did those artifacts come to Ecuador? Here another one, sitting in the lotus seat. Then this one very interesting, because you can see here the third eye. And in Ecuador, in a country where it is really very hot, it's a very strange clothing. This one, for me, first of all, it looks a little more Japanese than any pre-Columbian culture. And this is also a very interesting one, because you see here 2 persons with elongated skulls. And this ceramic is from the bottom this size, and it is one ceramic, and it is completely hollow, even here the round circle. So this is really a masterpiece of ceramic. So now we go to China, to the pyramids. I can go here faster because you saw already some of them. The next pictures I got from my friend Andre Besmet. He visited many of them. Even he was walking up on some of them, even it was prohibited. And he even had the chance to fly over this with what? With the small, with the ultralight airplane. He was flying over the pyramids, and he did great photos. He is one of the most interesting researcher, and I'm just wondering why he never gives a conference speech. Here himself in front of one of these pyramids. And you see, they look like the Sun Pyramid, right? And this is a model of the biggest one. And this photo I got from a Chinese archaeologist from southern Mongolia, round pyramids. And in this area, they found thousands of jade artifacts. They say that this is from the Hongshan culture, which is dated archaeological-wise about 4,000 years old. But even 4,000 years ago, doing such great jade works, they must have known, or they must have had a kind of special technology. Some of these artifacts are very strange. And this bronze was also found there. And you see here, it's called Hongshan culture. And when I saw this picture, I thought, this is an Egyptian bronze, because it looks exactly like Isis. That's why I here a close-up. And here you see the original Egyptian Isis. This is Mr. Che. He is a Korean researcher, and I met him personally this summer, first time, but we are in contact already over 2 years. He is a great researcher of an unknown culture, they found in China and in Mongolia many graves, mostly Korean archaeologists, and they excavated hundreds and hundreds of 30, 40 centimeter big jade figurines, but they are all black painted. And the interesting thing for me is, first, they could not find out yet what kind of color they used. They couldn't find out, technically wise, what kind of color they used to paint these jade artifacts black. But when I saw symbols on some of them, like here, it remembered me immediately on the Moais on Easter Island, because you know that they are now excavating deeper and deeper many of the Moais, because they are going deep into the earth, and most of them they have on their back symbols, and some are really same like on some of these artifacts. So you have now the Moais black, because it's volcanic stone, and you have here jade artifacts, but also black. Why somebody paints beautiful jade into black? And you have the same symbols. So maybe for me, it is a point that the really never existed continent Mu really existed. And another point is that we did a scan over the Easter Island, and what we found is always in a certain distance behind a moai there is deep underground a cave, a grave, and in this grave we could identify bones, gold and precious stones. And all of you know that on Easter Island there is no gold mining, no precious stone mining, nothing. And they didn't find yet any real grave on the Easter Island, an important grave. But they are very deep and always in a certain distance behind the Moais. So I checked the books from Thor Heyerdahl, and in the first book of his first expedition to the Easter Island, 1956, he wrote, when I arrived there and I was talking with the old people of the Easter Island, they told me that in long time ago they buried the kings here on this island. What does it mean? The kings from where? And for me that's another point why I think that Churchill was right, that there really existed a huge continent in the Pacific Ocean. So now I show you several of these figurines, like you have here a vase, also with these symbols found on the Moais, also here and here. And again, always mixture also between human body and animal head. And then people. But if they were so great artists, why did they build make figurines with very strange faces? Here you see male and female. This looks Mongolian or Chinese. This also for me looks more Chinese. This with the bell. Here you see uncolored. Some of them they found uncolored, but most of them are black painted. That's another uncolored one. This is another one. A turtle with a human face. And this one, the next one, were for me very interesting, because if you compare the human skull here And the skull of the person with the knife, it looks for me like a giant who killed a smaller person. This is the lady. They also knew how sex is going on. Then animals. Again, skull. So that means skull always played a very important role, even for cultures. The Korean archaeologists are dating these artifacts back at least 8,000 to 10,000 years. Again, elephant sitting on a skull. Then this for me looked like the North American Indian symbol. The turtle also in many cultures played a very important role for long life. And this skull was also, it's made out of jade and was also found together with painted black figurines. 2001 I was able to present 6 crystal skulls in my exhibition. All of them were checked by the most expert worldwide, Dr. Rudolf Distelberger, who was the director of the treasure room of the most famous museum in Austria. He checked already 1984 the Mitchell Hedges skull, where many people are saying or writing that nobody can make this skull, that alien must have brought it from somewhere. That's not true, because he checked the Mitchell Hedges skull, and he was a very nice man. He didn't say this skull is not old, he just said, my opinion is the Mitchell Hedges skull is made end of 19th century in Ida Oberstein in Germany. And National Geographic ordered the most famous Chinese crystal skull maker to do exactly the same skull like the Mitchell Hedges skull out of one block of crystal, even with the jaw taken away. And he made a copy where you cannot see which one is the original or the copy. But the next skulls are definitely old. This is small quartz skull. This is aquamarine. This is from Mongolia. It's jade. And 2004, I had the exhibition in Switzerland, and a famous and great Russian shaman asked me if he can visit with me after 9:00 p.m. when everything is closed, the exhibition, and she will tell me some more information on some of the artifacts, which she did, very interesting. And until this time, I didn't believe that crystal skulls can give any information or something like this. But when she meditated in front of this skull, she was talking in a language which I never ever heard before. Then she was talking in Russian to the translator, and the translator was talking to me. And it was November 2004, end of November 2004. And she said, the first information is for me. You will, in the very new future, you will excavate many things on the earth. But you have to leave the earth in a good condition. At that time, I had no idea of excavating something because I'm not an archaeologist. But with the new technology of my friend, we have now several places where we are really starting soon excavations. So this information was quite right. But the second information was, in a few days, a big wave will kill hundreds of thousands of people, and all of you know that on 26th of December 2004, the big tsunami in Southeast Asia killed hundreds of thousands of people. So there is reality that crystal skulls are keeping information, or it looks like that they even can look into the future. The next one is from Brazil, lapis lazuli, and this one is from the Ukraine. It's quartz, rose quartz. This photo I received from a lady from Mexico, which is connected with 3,000 strange artifacts, where you will see some of them later on. This crystal skull, very interesting, and for me it is definitely a very old one, and it's hollow inside. This skull was found in Bavaria in a wooden case, and the wood case in a leather case. On the leather case was written Otto Rahn, and Otto Rahn was the SS archaeologist who was ordered through Himmler to search in Rennes-le-Château and in Monseigneur the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. This box was on the last train leaving Berlin in the last days of the war, direction to Prague, but the train didn't arrive in Prague, it stopped in Bavaria. And a friend of mine found also the transportation list, and on the transportation list, the owner of this box was Heinrich Himmler himself. That means that this crystal skull was in the ownership of Heinrich Himmler, and I brought it to my friend Dr. Distelberger. He checked this crystal skull. He said it's definitely handmade. And as Otto Rahn was researching in Rennes-le-Château and Monseigneur, I'm quite sure that this crystal skull, 9.2 kilo heavy, was in the ownership of the Knight Templars. My friend told me that with a physicist and another friend, they did laser light and sound tests with this crystal skull. And he said, if I would have had this experience by myself, I would have thought I am kind of crazy. He said, suddenly they saw pyramids and they saw a man on a camel, like a hologram, riding in direction of them and then riding on the side. And the second they saw was a lady sleeping, and suddenly she opened the eyes and she looked like shocked, and then she disappeared. But the lady looked like South American. And the strangest thing he told me was when they started with the laser light on the bottom of the sky to the top of the room, suddenly they saw like a banner with a very unknown symbols writing, and he said, weeks after, suddenly he got a little pain in his left eye, and then he saw in color the same banner running in his eye. So he said he really thought he's gonna get crazy, and the last time it happened, he took a paper and he was writing these symbols, and I will get them after coming back, and then I asked many of the writing experts if we can find out what kind of writing this is. So that means, again, this was for me an approval that crystal skulls do have informations or do have films or whatever reality, or can they see into the future, but it will be very interesting to do another test. And I received an email yesterday. He promised me after coming back we can drive to him, and he asked his friends to do a test because I want to see that by myself. Hopefully not getting the same trouble later. This guy is here. You can see him later on. This is the one I brought to Japan. Nassim Haramein got this skull. The famous physicist in Hawaii, we are good friends, he got this skull from the last owner, because the story says, and it's not a story, every owner who bought this skull got heavy trouble. And the last owner was a young guy, and he wanted to get married. And after buying this skull, 1 month later, his fiancée passed away. So when Massim brought this skull 2.5 years ago to Germany, to a conference where we met again together, he gave me the skull and he said, you can keep it here whenever you make again an exhibition, you can display him. And I immediately told him nothing. I don't want to own this skull. I keep him here, but we promise now that we try to find out where this skull belongs and then we bring him back. Because this skull for me must have been in a grave, because geologist friends told me that he has a crystallization on the skull, which means he must have been long time under the earth. And this year in springtime, when I was, no, last year, sorry, when I was invited to a conference to Paris, there was also Humatzman, the elder of the Mayas. And when he saw him leaving this skull, he was really surprised, kind of shocked. He did a meditation and then he told me, this is one of the most important skulls on Earth, and it's definitely older than 10,000 years. So I would appreciate if Hannah could give you more information, because I think she knows more, and even maybe there's someone else who might be able to give you some information about this guy. But I can say he has a strong energy, that's what I hear. I don't feel it because he is staying in my sleeping room, but many people tell me that he is very strong, so I don't feel it. So after the conference, I put him here so you can see him. On his top, he has the incarving of the feathered god, Quetzalcoatl, that's why I call him Quetzalcoatl. And Humatzman told me also that the eyes, the jade of the eyes, this is the same jade like they found some artifacts in the grave of Pakal. Now we move to Sierra Leone, to Mali. Professor Pitoni, a real great Italian geologist, he passed away unfortunately a few years ago. He provided me this photo and some artifacts from Sierra Leone, which I show you following. He follows always legends and mythology. And when he was working in a diamond mine in Sierra Leone, he got information about a legend that a princess did something wrong and God made her into stone, and there is a huge half granite, half portrait lady in a rock formation. So he went there and he visited the place, and you can see here exactly the face, the breast, until here. This is definitely because he was a really great geologist, and he said, I could not go directly to there, but I could see definitely that this was man-made, a precise face, everything, but the size from here to here, the man-made formation is 140 meters. So it would be even quite very difficult for us in our days with high technology to do such a precise half-portrait into a rock. Here this is a close-up of the face, and you can see exactly the face, but what some specialists told me, and I can see it by myself, this looks more like South American or Asian, but not Black African style. So that's another hint for me to the direction of Atlantis. Then, while he was excavating diamonds at the diamond mines, as a geologist, he always took from the finding position of any artifact organic material. So he found many sky blue stones. That's why he called these stones sky stones. We did analytical check at the Natural Historical Museum at the Mineralogical Department. These stones are artificial made. We could find out all the materials except the color. The color is no way to find out what color they use to get really sky blue stones, from big size to small size. And the legend in this area says that they are Muslims. Allah was angry with some of the angels and he petrified them and threw them to the earth. These are the so-called nomoris, which I show you. He took the sky and threw it to the earth. These are the so-called sky stones. And he took the stars and threw them to earth. These are the diamonds which were found there. So the sky stones, we did analysis. There are 13% of material which usually does not exist on our earth. They only find it on meteorite impacts. This is one of the nomoris. They were found in different layers, from age dating from organic material, 2,000 years the youngest one, up to the oldest one, 17,000 years. Very well done, but again you know that I'm researching worldwide also giants, and we found already broken bones from 7.6 meter human giants in Ecuador. Again, when I heard Hannah today, I got very big ears because I'm from Austria, but I didn't know that giants exist in Czechoslovakia, so very interesting. But you see here, you see the elephant and the man sitting on the elephant. If you compare the size, this guy must have been at least 6-7 meters. And you know that any country, any tribe, everywhere you find the legends and stories about giants and little people. Here are also some very strange ones. These are made out of very heavy granite, found in a deepness, organic material, but that doesn't prove definitely that they might not be older or younger, about approximately 5,000 years with strange head and human body, like the reptiles. Here again, and here again. They are approximately 50 centimeters in size and very heavy, but wonderful stoneworks. And this one he found in an area with organic material, in the deepest area. Organic material age dating was 17,000 years. It's made out of sandstone. It looks for me like a T-Rex, like a dinosaurs, and it was making a sound. He told me when we found it, it made a sound, but it was closed precisely with this stone, and he opened it and he found inside a small metal ball. So I brought the metal ball and the stone, the little stone, for analysis to the institution, to the laboratory. Next day, the professor called me and she said, Mr. Donner, somebody made a bad joke with you. I said, why? She said, because the metal ball is chromatic steel. And you know, chromatic steel was found first in Austria in 1904. So how can come a perfect, precise chromatic steel ball inside a statue? So next morning, I called Professor Pittoni and I said, Professor Pittoni, we have a problem. He said, well, I said, I did an analysis on the stone ball of your figurine. He said, oh, what is it? I said, you won't believe. It's chromatic steel, and chromatic steel was first time made 1904 in Austria. He was laughing and he said, Klaus, I am a geologist. I would not open a statue because of a strange sound if I wouldn't have done a special check before. And you see here the X-rays he did before opening, because he didn't know that there was already an opening here, because it was precise, perfect close. So he sent me the X-rays from all sides, and you can see that the metal ball was already inside the statue. This is a side X-ray. You see here the steel ball, and here on this picture he saw that there was an opening here already, and he asked a restorator to open him exactly here. So that means here we have a chromatical steel ball, approximately 17,000 years or even older, and that's again interesting today what Timothy said, that they found very old stone with a kind of metal inside. So again, here we have a connection, and so it goes with artifact and artifact. I always say, I try to find, I'm digging for answers, but I always find new questions. So that's why it's interesting always to talk with people like you, because someone has this idea, someone has this idea, and I think if we put all together, but also together with the official scientists, because we need them. If we are able to get them also on our side, and we get already some of them, thank you Paul and others, so with together, if we put all these puzzles together, maybe one day we find a real full picture. And one of the ideas I have is, and that again, that's why I like Paul's conference very much, I also think that there were always, from time to time, global catastrophes which wipe out most of human, and if so, the civilization started completely from zero, because the next and next and next generations, they only have one problem, which means, how do I find something to eat for me and my family? So why don't we check more and more Paul's studies and artifact studies? Maybe we can find out more information what really happened, and maybe we could find also some answers. How can we take care that something like this will not happen to us? Sam, how many minutes I have?
The last minute.
Okay, then we talk until 2 o'clock?
The first group is leaving at 5 a.m.
Okay. So, now this is very interesting. In the 1870, a French researcher found deep underground the first of the so-called charcoal gods. You see here an original photo of the finding, and the official archaeologists in Mexico and the international archaeologists are saying that here in this area they were putting the hearts when they were taking them out from the body. They took the heart up there, and there is the function of the god Chacmol. But now I show you many pieces from one collection. About 3 years ago, I got an email from Mexico from a lady, and she wrote, she is sending me some pictures, but I should keep them top secret. For me, several photos from someone I don't know, meaning top secret, somebody wants to send me a virus. And I checked each photo several times with a virus scanner, and then I opened them. And when I saw the first 10 photos, I thought somebody is cheating me, because I always refuse to talk about UFOs and extraterrestrials, because I always said, as long as I do not have a real approval, I will not talk about this. Then I stick on unknown ancient high civilizations, which definitely existed. But Valerie already told me so many things, and I know that he is one of the most serious researchers. So these artifacts, so it makes me already coming to the side where I think that they might have been here. Also, my friend Michael, they all talk about Anunnakis and everything. I was always a little bit behind. I said, as long as I don't have the final agreement, I won't talk. Now they make me believe in it, okay? And the artifacts. But the artifacts were so good that when I showed with Nassim Haramein, together we showed 2 years ago in a conference in Saarbrücken the first pictures, and Nassim made the physical explanations. I asked, please stop all cameras, don't make photos, because I knew we get trouble. So someone filmed it, and he was putting it on the internet, and you cannot imagine what happened. Even the greatest German UFO freaks and alien freaks were writing, these are liars, they think we are stupid, they show us new-made artifacts, and they try to believe us that these are original. Later I explain you more. So, here, this lady, after I got the first 10 photos, I was also unsure, as I thought that's impossible. Then I asked her, can you give me more photos? Because she told me that a farmer found in one tunnel on his ground over 3,000 artifacts, 2,500 stone artifacts, from small one to big one, and 500 molded artifacts, from small one up to 50 centimeter statues, molded. So I asked her to send me some of the small molded ones. We did material check. It looks like they are really old and original. And from 2 stone masks, which you see, I show you some of them, stone masks with mosaics on it, and they used for gluing organic material. And Nassim Haramein sent 2 samples to the university in Tucson. The result was one mask age dating 8,600 years plus minus 100, and the second one was 12,400 years plus minus 100 years. So if the analysis is correct, we have already a real confirmation that the pieces are old, but still nothing decided that we try to do in the next few months. 2 other institutions, we want to be sure that we got the same result, and then we can say that these artifacts are at least older than 8,000 years. So you can see here one of these so-called Chak-Mol gods holding something on his breast. Here this one, it looks like, I would say, like a computer showing a face on his stomach. And a Russian scientist found out that the best condition traveling in the space would be in this style of sitting. Here another one, here you see exactly, he has something on his stomach, but not hard, but something like really looks like a small television or whatever. Here another one, and look at the clothes and the seat. This is made out of stone. This is also stone in carving. This one also. 3,000 pieces. Here looks like a UFO, unknown symbols, human footsteps. Maybe they saw the giant footstep in South Africa. All of these pieces are molded, and for me it looks like flying objects. Here you have close up. Here you can see even person with big eyes looking out of the windows. Here you have a sun eruption and a triangle in the sun. I got this photo 3 years ago, and some of you might have seen a NASA photo on the internet with the sun with a long dark triangle in the sun. This one again, on top a UFO. Here a guy with very strange big eyes. Here again, looks like a UFO. Here, one of several carvings where the person seen always is raising the left hand. And I always say I'm happy that they raise the left hand, because if they would raise the right hand, I would have a problem in Austria. Here you have the sun eruptions. Here something, for me, looked like a wormhole, but Paul told me it's not a wormhole. This is very interesting because it looks like something is going direction to the earth, because here it looks like the earth, and here you have a flying object in front, and one following it, here another one, and here again you have the famous position with the rising hand. This is a close-up of the one I told you before. Exactly on internet, we could see a photo. Now the battery is gone, maybe try this. The sun, with the sun eruption, and here the triangle. And Valery told us in his conference that the sun might have been a kind of stargate, and it looks like here the UFO, sun eruption, and exactly this triangle was on a real sun photo from NASA about 1.5 years ago. So what does it mean? No idea. There's another strange one, again with the sun eruption and the flying object. And here the guys are looking out of the windows. This, a star constellation. Maybe one day someone can give me an explanation what might be seen here on this star map. You can see all the kind, different size, different material, most of them made out of stone, 3,000 pieces. The farmer is afraid, that's why everything started with top secret. The farmer is afraid when the government gets a knowledge about this collection, they will take it away, and they might take this land also away, because there are 2 tunnels which he didn't open yet. And maybe in December I can fly with Andre to Mexico, and we are allowed to document all the 3,000 pieces, and if we have time enough, maybe we are allowed to open with him together the 2nd and the 3rd tunnel. Then we would have the final approval. But for me, approval enough, because some of the pieces have gold inlays and precious stone inlays. And a farmer, I don't think he would be able to make 3,000 masterpieces. It would not be possible. This is one similar mask where we did with two of them an age dating, because these are semi-precious stones glued with the organic material on a stone mask. And this is, for example, the reverse side of the one you saw, the front side. And you know from Star Wars films, transportation from one dimension or star to another star, people would be sleeping inside. This one, it's about 50 centimeters high, stone with inlays, and many of the inlays have the body, the hands positioned like Egyptian mummies. This looks like one of the famous Nazca lines, a spider. This is another mask, front side and reverse side. It's another front side and the reverse side. Again, the left hand. And here, like a comet, coming down, flying object. This one, sitting, a kneeling guy with a kind of baby on his hands. Here. Another mask, and the reverse side. This is for me also very interesting because it shows here the flying object. This guy showing, it looks like he wants to protect something in his hand of this comet or whatever is going into direction to here. Maybe, I made a joke, I said, maybe they show us on these artifacts that when really a problem is coming and a big impact is trying to catch the Earth, that they are ready to help us. But interesting is that many of these figurines, they are dressed like the Mayans. This is very interesting. This is a precious stone showing the third eye, but again, very big eyes. On this one, elongated skull, with a baby also with elongated skull. This one is very, very interesting because again you see here even the mask sitting in the position of Chuck Moll in something inside, and again raising the left hand. Here another one. Then one thing which looks like a sarcophagus. You see? I mean, you have to agree, they look too good to be believed. That's another sarcophagus. Here you have step pyramids, and again, the Mayans, they had two tribes, the Eagle tribe and the Puma tribe. And on this one here, you see that it looks like the Eagle tribe. So now the real question is, are these species or these artifacts all at least 8,000 years old? But then the history about the Mayans, and especially interesting, the history, the age of the building of the Mexican pyramids must be also older. So question, no answer yet. Here you see several of the artifacts, gold inlay eyes, precious stone inlay with gold. So a farmer in Mexico wouldn't be able to he would be an incorrect man, he would break up the precious stones and gold and would sell it, but he doesn't do it. This one again, strange person with elongated skull and big eyes. Another one. This, I love him most of all, because here you can see even the glass here of the helmet. Long, big eyes, holding something in his hand. And here a flying object. Now we change and we go to Colombia. In Colombia, Professor Jaime Gutierrez has the most incredible collection in Colombia. This, we called it the genetical disc. It is made out of a material which is called lutite, or in English also radioite. It's a very hard stone, but usually the structure is like leaves formed. So that means it's very easy to break. You can see here on this arrow that a little piece was broken away, and even on other parts, pieces were broken away. So, why this is so interesting? It is not accepted, this disc and the other artifacts I show you are not accepted as archaeological findings because they do not fit any known pre-Columbian culture, so they must be new. But the problem is, 2001, before we put those artifacts to the exhibition, we made material check at the Natural Historical Museum Mineralogical Department, and Dr. Rudolf Distelberger was with us. And after getting the result of this material, he told me, I'm happy that I'm here today, otherwise I wouldn't believe in the result of the material. I said, why? He checked all these pieces, and after checking he said, I cannot tell you who made those artifacts, I cannot tell you how they made the artifact, and I cannot tell you when they made the artifact, but the only thing I can tell you, we are not able to do the same artifacts with our high technology with the same material today. So that means we talk here again about very strange things. Why? First of all, they were found in South America and Colombia. They do not connect any known pre-Columbian culture. That means they should be at least older than 6,000 years. But then the next question arises, how could they know how human egg with spermia and without spermia looks like? And how could they know how spermians are looking like? This Swedish photographer several years ago did with a microscope camera photos inside a lady, and he could show the first pictures with human eggs inside the body with and without spermia, as you see them on the other side. Here. This is the comparison. And on the reverse side, for me again strange. If someone can do such an incredible work, why he shows man, male, female and child with so big heads with eyes left side, right side, and why he show here male and female more looks like frogs. And here you have, it looks like the fetus in different age. This is another artifact made from the same material. This one. This is quite impossible to do the same style with the same material. It would break immediately. And each piece is made in the geometrical form completely in the golden rays. Here. And it fits, each piece fits any hand. If it's a big male hand or a small female hand, it fits always precisely. And Professor Gutierrez is the most famous industrial designer and architect in Colombia, and he takes all his ideas from the nature. These artifacts are very small, and especially this one, I think it was used for medical purpose, because you can put in the round form, you can put this finger, and then you hold it with the two other fingers, and it's like your own fingers. You can reach any point precisely. And such a form, making today out of lyddite would be quite impossible. It would break immediately. All these instruments for me looks like medical instruments. And each one, as I said, is perfect done. When Professor Gutierrez showed some of these artifacts in a university in the United States, a young student told him, "Professor, isn't it reality that you are the most famous industrial designer in Colombia?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Couldn't it be that you made this design?" He said, young man, if I would have this know-how, I wouldn't be just the most famous industrial designer in Colombia. I would be the most famous worldwide." Here, each artifact is precisely done. This is very interesting, because you can see here the baby coming out from the mother, and I always forget the name. What's this line?
Umbilical cord? Umbilical cord?
Yes. Is around the neck of the baby. That means, for me, it looks like this artifact was done by a high civilization for a lower civilization, to show them already for what they should use this instrument, to cut this line when there is a danger that the baby gets strangled. The next one, we call it the birth spoon, and in Vienna, when we had the exhibition, we asked several specialist doctors if they could hold this thing, and if they think it might be helpful when the baby has problems to leave the mother's body. And they tried it, and finally they said, you can here only put the dome inside. That means you can hold this instrument only with the two fingers. That means you are not able to use power. You can only use it very, very softly, and that means some of the doctors said, for us it looks even more safe than the instruments we are using in our days. And again here you see the baby is coming out from the vagina. This is the mother's body, so it means showing a lower civilization for what they should use this instrument. And again, these two pieces precisely done. Then we stayed still in Colombia, but we moved to Via de Leyva, There is a very old monastery, Santo Ekehomo Monastery, built 1620 in an area where you find millions of fossils, even dinosaurs, eggs, and so on. This is Professor Jaime Gutierrez. They used many of the fossils for building the monastery. And you can see here a pineapple, petrified, cultivated fruits and vegetables they found there. Here you see an avocado. Here is a close-up. Here is maize, petrified. What does it mean? How old are these vegetables and fruits? Millions of years? If they were found together with all these fossils, I think they must be many millions of years old. This is Padre Huertas. Padre Huertas is professor for archeological plants, ancient plants, for modern plants, and anthropologist. And he checked all these artifacts by himself, and he said these are 100% petrified, cultivated fruits and vegetables. In his hands, he is holding a cocoa bean and a banana. Here is a close-up of the cocoa bean and the banana. Another fruit, several fruits found there. And also they found petrified human bones, which are bigger than our bones. This human must have been the size of at least 3.5 to 4 meters. And also in the same region, in the same area, they found this stone with a petrified human hand and a petrified human foot. Age dating, archaeological age dating of the stone material in Colombia is 120 to 140 million years. So what do we have now? We have human hand and human foot petrified in stone. We have cultivated fruits and vegetables petrified. And age dating goes far behind our time. Here you see the hand. In the same area, they found petrified bones with very strange animals. Some of the animals, they have arm rings, you can see here. And it's an unknown animal. Nobody knows what kind of animal this was, especially this one, which is exactly looking like the other ones I showed you before, but this is the skull, and you can see that it has exactly the form like the little petrified animals. But the strange thing is that these artifacts have wonderful engravings in petrified bones, and the petrification was done already when the engravings were done. That means an unknown animal petrified with engravings. Many questions of the official age of humanity. Here is a close-up of this skull, and here is a view from front, but it shows exactly, it looks exactly like the little animals on the other petrified bones. This is a flag with a tail, and it looks exactly like the stones found in Ica, the stone collection from Dr. Cabrera stones which are showing dinosaurs and human together and so on. In the same area, there is a so-called Infernito, 1,500 years old, connected with the Muisca culture. It is definitely an archaeoastronomical site. These were all phalluses, but the Spanish conquistadors, they broke most of them. And I personally think that this area is much older than 1,500 years. There is also one underground room covered with huge stone blocks, and some of the big phalluses, some of them are up to 8 meters, very heavy, and the mountain from where these rocks are transported and made is 60 kilometers up and down away from the area where these phalluses are now. So also here we have the question, how did they make them and how did they transport them? Oops. I think the computer said we should stop now, so I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.